sees it immediately. He's like, oh no.
Yeah, we're going to have to use some mist pretty effectively, but it's not actually going to do anything. That's first blood so easily.
He had flash, he actually does kill it, but you get a little bit overconfident, right, in these moments. You get a little bit overextended. Like, this is a huge minion wave. Like, this is a mistake from Canna to think that just because Kiin doesn't have flash, you can actually play this out, especially when you're a level down because you lost all that minion wave.
Yeah.
Then he just, unfortunately, gets run down here. He does get Dread's flash in return, but you're very happy with getting that first blood as the Lee Sin in this case.
As Shelly is going to reset, Canna, who's moved on over, it's going to be okay. Kiin's at full health, though, and he is a giant. See what they can actually do. The culling is available. Severum, the Crescendum and the Calibrum are up here for Leo, so we can do a lot of long-range damage. Canna now trying to get snippy, and they landed onto Lehens. The Super Mega Death Hook comes through, and the ulti from Leo is not going to land. T1, they group up and get the job done. Gumayusi with the double. In the end,
Gumayusi coming up as a hero here, and Keria blocks the majority of that culling damage, so they're able to kind of weather the storm there and then turn the fight on its head. Fly, once again, returning to the fight, getting a little bit too excited up in the front line, is just simply blown up. Gumayusi getting so much value here and so much early gold, and for the first time, Canna is able to breathe and play the game in the top lane here, and this is a massive swing for T1. It was starting to look like this was a game that was just completely off the rails because Canna was not going to be able to be a champion. Now he gets a little bit of room to breathe. They're going to get the Rift Herald, and just watch how low Fly gets. Like, this is the first problem for them. He backs off. He does eventually come back in. They know Faker's gone, so that's like, okay, it's a 5v4 fight. But even in the 5v4, it's not enough because the culling doesn't do too much. And this is where the exhaust hits the wrong Fly. And he's like, oh, I got my life here. I'm going to go back in. But it's a disaster. Like, this is completely blocked by Keria. Teleport comes through from Faker. No longer a 5v4.
Yeah.
And then look at the damage from Jinx, the Super Mega Death Rocket, like you said. Perfect.
And the Moonlight Vigil does absolutely nothing. If that lands, maybe Afrika are able to get enough damage back, and then Kiin and Leo can really finish off the fight. But unfortunately, the T1 skill shots landed, and Afrika's just straight up didn't. So really, really well played. And Fly should be able to grab that minion, and he does. So both cannons secured by the mid laners. That is definitely the most important. The posturing is also cool, but I think making sure that you get siege minions, that is the thing. As Dread is going to spot this. They want the Rift Herald dive drop coming.
Yeah, they want the Rift Herald drop. They want to kill Kiin. So many resources coming up here for Afrika. Look at the rotation from Lehens.
Yeah, and you can see Afrika are like, they understand that they need to be as secretive as possible as Keria doesn't put up the door. And now Dread finds his way in, finds the Q. He wanted the kick, flashes for it. As you can see, Kiin gets exhausted. Dread safeguards to get on top of the Lucian. And now the rest of Afrika, they dive in on top of Ona. They're able to grab that kill. Dread very close to falling down, and they save Afrika's top side outer turret and Kiin's laning phase.
As Afrika are just going to push this in and rotate over as it spawns, you would imagine. They're actually looking for more. This is extremely greedy from Afrika.
The unseen Lucian is the deadliest, as Faker's going to rotate up. Dread's going to find him. There's the kick flash. Actually avoids the piercing light damage, so slightly unfortunate there as Keria gets in there, and they immediately get rid of Dread. Faker's going to be okay for a little while, but the Moonlight Vigil will be able to lock him down. This kind of tries to find some needlework, but doesn't get it here. Onto Afrika. We'll be able to charge up a few of them, but not going to land.
We were talking about a lack of proactivity from Afrika in Game 1, but this is not what we had in mind, to be this aggressive. You had a free opportunity. You had Drake Prio, but you got greedy. You wanted even more. And yes, it is a trade, but the trade doesn't favor you because you don't get the Drake anymore. And now T1 have that objective tied up. That one ward
is a unit trying to get over here. The Drake is taken by Faker, but he's got Realm Warp, he's got Teleport, he's got a lot of ways that he can get through. As Kiin gonna get snipped. He's stuck inside, but he's still able to click the Lantern. Snips come forward. They do manage to take down the Lucian, and then immediately Canna goes golden, but look at this Aphelios damage. He's doing a lot of work. You saw Ona threw down the Subjugate. That was onto Leo, so that's going to get him some health back, but they do manage to make their way out of there as Afrika Fly off to the side. Is going to get slowed down, but will be able to keep himself up for the moment.
I mean, just that one kill onto the Lucian gives so much pushing power to T1. They want this inhibitor. They're going to get the turret at least here. They know Fly and Dread are on the flank, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop them. This should be the inhibitor going down.
Yep, Lance has now put the Lantern on cooldown as well, as they do manage to get the inhibitor. Fly looking for an opportunity to get in. The mist does go down. The distortion takes him back. And now T1 looking for a potential reset. Well, a lot of things just appear in that pit as Dread is going to get the kickback onto Faker. Now we've got a teleport to come through. Let's see whether they can actually get this. He does have the Zhonya's complete as Fly gets out, but Kiin, he's not going to be so lucky. He's stuck in there. Super Mega Death Rocket finishes off the kill as Realm Warp is going to come through as well. That's going to bring Gumayusi over.
I was like, some sunk cost fallacy here for Afrika Atlas, I think.
Right.
They were like, well, we waited this long, we might as well just all in on Faker, and his Zhonya's just outlast literally everything, allows T1 to punish. Now they have a man advantage for this Baron.
Well, Hook is going to connect that onto Carrier, but of course Carrier is okay with being hooked. That's a great Rune Prison onto Fly. He's denied the exit, but it's not going to be enough to get them out of the way of the distortion. Fly flashing. Keeps himself safe, and T1, they back away from the Baron. Immediately, vision goes down for
Carrier's
T1.
back. He's not. It's no longer a 5v4. He's here.
Yep, the box comes in. Okay, so they have vision. Can they actually get in there, though, is the question. Is that Realm Warp was not exactly where I was expecting it to be, but it might just be the end of Lehens, as it is going to be a trade of supports, but Kiin's already dead. Leo has a whole lot of survivability, but just not enough. And T1 roll over the top once again. They'll now start off the Baron, and I think finally this game has officially turned into a T1 big advantage.
It's definitely a huge advantage for T1 now, and Afrika had so many opportunities to make a choice, right? Either commit, hard engage onto somebody after you set up that brush, or rush down the Baron. They made neither choice. They stayed in the brush for a little bit. Whenever the Baron started, walked away, then started the Baron again a second time. Just way too slow on this. And your composition cannot just start Baron before T1. T1 could start a Baron and then turn. Yours, not so much, because you're so reliant on Fly to play this LeBlanc on a flank angle. And you see he's just completely irrelevant in this fight. This is a 5v4, and it should not have been this way. It should have actually been 5v4 start for Afrika, but they wait so long. T1 go for the punish. And T1 have just been way more decisive this game than Afrika have, and they've just been playing as if T1 is 3 times the better team than they are, instead of actually using their win conditions correctly. They're playing like they're trying to party bush.
And Dread is just going to be spotted. He's going to be able to use the ward to get himself out.
Fly does have his death cap now, so he is going to do tons of damage when he does decide to go in here. But unfortunately, this positioning here is so good, and Owner is just guarding Faker so well that it's really hard for Fly to actually close the distance and go in there.
As Canna is actually a little bit too far forward here. That's real dangerous. Okay, Leo with his Calibrum. Very threatening, but Canna is able to get himself out. Not sure what that was.
Yeah, that will definitely end up muting a lot of this Baron power. It's still going to be very strong, and T1 will look for the reset here, so it's just going to end up being his teleport going down for this. So they're going to continue to group 1-4, Faker in the mid lane, the 4 on the side here, and it's time to be decisive, Afrika. Make a choice. You've got to do something.
Canna and Faker, both of them level 18. Kiin's only 16. That advantage that he had has really just evaporated after all of the times that he's died.
And this pick, you know, the Trundle pick, it's working out very well at denying Dread from doing a whole lot in this late game. You know, he's just always under threat, and if he gets slowed or caught by a pillar, he just dies or has to use all of his cooldowns, and he's not useful for when T1 continue to push. The positioning from Owner has been really good in these splits here.
No, it's been fantastic.
Look at all the wards that Afrika have to commit.
Okay, that's a hook onto Carrier. He's going to die immediately. Fly tries to get in there. Gumayusi down to below half. And Afrika will save their inhibitor turret and this inhibitor. I mean, they should have prio anyway, right? Like, based on the 7,000 gold lead that they have right now. Like, this is T1's game to lose, but I can't shake the feeling that maybe there's just going to be that flip as Dread. Okay, he's going to be able to take the Lantern out. Fly gets towards the side, but he has Distortion to get himself out of the way. Fishing now with these pillars as Canna diving forward, looking for a little bit more. You can see Leo getting dove on. Great kickback onto Canna, but look at the damage. Faker finally able to get in there. Immediately pops to Dread. Now trying to get out of the way, and it's Gumayushi's turn to get the hard carry happening. This is going to be the ace, and T1 will just be able to march down the mid lane and finish off this game.
What a great end to this game for T1. Soars a little wide, but Fly.
The super mega almost rocket.
Press the attacks on him. Is he going to get out of here? Looks like the answer is yes. He actually can go back too if he wants to, but the Nexus is going to go down.
Yep.
T1.
Some say that Fly is still running away from T1, but we will never know.